Hello, everyone. You're watching CCP podcast. Watching, enjoy it, fun, love life, all room yours.
And friends of CCP Podcasting Productions, welcome to Behind the Curtain Rivalries. I'm Chris Page, and that's Eric the Lariat Steele. What's happening, man? I missed you.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Life is life right now, man. Let me just tell you. Glad to be back this morning for another episode of Rivalries. I will be perfectly honest with you, Eric. When I was in the hospital last weekend, and I had posted the first Rivalries, the first show, and it wasn't doing so hot, right? Like it just wasn't. And when I woke up from surgery, I guess it was midday on Saturday, when I finally kind of had my faculties about myself again, and I happened to pull up our YouTube page, and overnight that damn thing went from like 10 hits to 200. It was insane.
That's awesome, man.
It was just, it's nuts. The old school shit, people are eating it up. And this past week, while I've been recovering at the house, shout out Goth, I see you in the chat, buddy. Good morning. I started filming a lot of Legends of Wrestling, is what I'm calling them. So I did like a Lawler show. I did a Gino Hernandez show. I did a Freebird show. Like it's just nuts to see what hits on this platform and what doesn't. And before we get started on this show, if you haven't already, you need to go over to our YouTube page and check out our video on demands. We have a really good interview with Frankie the Mobster, the Beast King, that we put out yesterday as of this stream. And we also have, as of now, yesterday I had 4, Eric, confirmed. This morning I wake up to a 5th. So we have 5 interviews that are going to be coming to the channel. Awesome. And one of them, ladies and gentlemen, is with our own Eric the Lariat Steele. And I'm really looking forward to that. John is looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun time. We've got Skrilla the Great. We've got Katie Trey. I've got Tommy Jackson from the UK, and confirmed this morning the lead announcer for Riot City Wrestling, Angus Stacey, is going to join us. So we're going to talk all things Riot City Wrestling. Man, this is going to be great. Our shit's we're just getting started. And a large part of this is because of each and every one of you who follow us on this little passion project of ours. We couldn't be prouder of where we're at. And Eric, it is going to be an epic 2024 for us, dude. Oh, your audio went out.
I did. It's pretty because I hated about trying to video using people. I just heard the show in my headphones, so I had to find the video and get it stopped.
Oh, gotcha.
But you got a lot of great interviews coming up. One's probably not going to be very good that Eric's doing, but it is awesome to see how much it's growing.
You got some marks on the channel, man.
Yeah, but it's the other host, so.
Well, he hasn't seen the Jake the Snake Roberts match.
I mean, that's half of that hour and a half, so.
Oh yeah, damn sure is. Listen, we got a lot of things happening. Let's jump into to the second piece of one of the greatest tag team rivalries of all time, Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express. We started 2 weeks ago with Mid-South with Bill Watts, and today is strictly Crockett Promotions. And some of the matches I have seen, I can't say that I haven't, but I think there's 2 or 3 on here that I have not looked at before, but there's a couple that I definitely have seen. Try and get stuff that we haven't seen before so that we can react genuinely to it. But doing shows like this and best ofs and rivalries. Obviously, we're wrestling marks. We've seen some of the stuff, but it's worth reliving. I'm ready to get started if you are, my man.
I am ready, man.
All right.
Ready to jump in.
Our first video is coming from it's from Monsoon Classic. It is a tag team championship match. It's the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express. This is from 1986. So we'll go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, play.
I love that old World Championship Wrestling music, old intro music.
Eric, I don't know if you're in the chat or if you're on the channel, but Goth just says, man, he hopes that Ricky Steamboat watches that Eric Steele interview.
Well, I'm sure he will. I've actually met Ricky Steamboat before.
I have too, several times. He's a nice guy to me.
I only met him once, and I didn't meet him I never met him when I was a wrestler. I met him when I was like a teenager. I was at an amateur wrestling tournament. It was like an out of season, like open tournament, and his son was at the tournament. And I remember I looked at my dad and I said, "Is that Ricky Steamboat?" And Dad's like, "Yeah, it's Ricky Steamboat." And every once in a while, you'd see somebody come up and talk to him and be like shaking their hand and talk to him. So I met him there. I talked to him there, but that's the only time I've ever met him. I've never met him as an adult, as a professional wrestler.
I did not meet him as a professional wrestler either. I met him after my wrestling career, not too long after. He was doing some coaching at NXT before it was in Orlando. Fun fact, before they created their own facility, their FCW was in Tampa. They had a little small warehouse off of Del Mabry, and Steamboat was a coach. And at that point in time, I'd probably been out of the business handful of years. I just moved down to Florida. I was working in maintenance at a property. It looks like Mr. Steamboat, and he turned and he looked at me and he shook my hand, and I just told him how thankful I was for his body of work, and got to talk to him for 10 or 15 minutes. That he just stopped what he was doing and talked to me, and he was like, "Man, you want an autograph or something?" And I was like, "Listen, no, I don't want an autograph. If I can just get a picture with you, bro, that'll be fine." I have that picture to this day. Matter of fact, if my better half if my better half wasn't asleep, I'd go back and get it. I'll send you a picture of it.
Oh man, I didn't mean to interrupt your story, but you see Robert just run up the ropes like that?
Yeah, we're starting off hot and heavy here. Let's bypass that. But long story short, he was a nice guy. We talked.
Yeah, he was super nice at that wrestling tournament too. And it's this is the thing with Ricky Steamboat. It's not that I don't think he's good. I get that he's good. I don't think he's a good seller. I just don't like the way he sells. He's very good. He just doesn't do anything for me. Was never a fan. I can watch his matches, but that's really good. He's really good. He just doesn't connect with me. He just doesn't resonate with me. There's other guys, Chris Jericho, same way. I like Jericho more than Steamboat. Don't get me wrong, I think his promos are outstanding, some of them. But I'm just never I liked the Lionheart Chris Jericho when I was a kid, but I'm just he just doesn't do anything for me. I get he's really good. He's probably one of the best of all time, but just doesn't do anything for me.
We got Dusty picture in picture here.
Yeah, picture in picture.
They're totally blocking out the camera.
Dennis Condrey ain't gonna be doing that flipping and flopping.
Oh no, sir. Condrey's gonna beat the shit out of you. That's all that is. That's all there is to it, man.
I like that, man. You don't see this anymore. So Ricky goes for the hip toss, and Condrey just catches him in a wizard, armbar. The advertisement's in stereo. The Superstation, the mothership.
I did a Legend show on Dusty too, by the way. And that was another show
I saw that, man. I wanted to watch it.
I'll send you the link.
So you did Dusty and Arn.
Mm-hmm. They're not visible, but I'll send you the link.
Oh, awesome! Things to come, folks. Things to look forward to.
A lot, man. A lot. I'm really stoked on what potential opportunities we have in front of us, and building working relationships. Like I really, Eric, spent the last week while I've been recovering. I tell my better half, like, I wasn't just laying around doing nothing. I felt like I felt like a productive member of society because I did channel work. I've made some connections with some indie feds in Georgia and over in the UK and in Australia. I've been working, and I really am really proud of where we're headed. And a large part of it, like I said, is our audience is so all over the place. We have a large chunk that really likes the old school stuff like we're doing now, the rock and roll and the midnights. And we're starting to develop that audience for the independent scene, which I think is really tremendous. It's a slow process, and it's not something that happens overnight. If anybody out there that's doing content creation, you need to understand you're only going to be as good as the work that's put into it, and it's not going to happen overnight. You have to stay
for sure.
on the grind. It's a job. It's a job.
Yeah. Like even the biggest, YouTuber out there, he says, I get put back all the money that I make into this. So
exactly, and that's kind of where we're at.
Looking on Fred Headsage again. Bobby said, "Nuh-uh, not this time."
But he
fooled me once. Oh, took him in the wrong corner.
He sure did. And there's Ricky right there.
He couldn't see. He was blinded by the Robert leg.
Now,
I mean, I could watch Ricky and Bobby wrestle each other all day.
I can too. My question for you now is: this before or after Ricky slept with Bobby's wife? For those of you who don't know, you didn't catch the first show, or you haven't seen us do anything on the midnights. There's the story. Eric tells it all the time. It's great. Go ahead and tell it again, just because we have to.
So it's like 2003, 2004, and around West Virginia, they're doing like a three show run, different like shows in the area. The main event of all the shows was Ricky Morton and Bob Eaton in a cage match. And so we're like at a gas station in Huntington, West Virginia, and Bobby's going in to get something, and the guy at the counter says, "Bobby Eaton, oh my gosh!" Like the poster for the show's hanging there. Oh man, that's a nice banana split cradle there. So the guy at the counter is like, "Oh man, Bobby Eaton, I can't believe it's you." Like he's totally marking out. He's like, "I'm going to that show tonight, but I can't believe after all these years, you and Ricky Morton are still feuding, still fighting." Bobby hasn't said a word. He does his head nod, and thank you. He hasn't really said anything. After he says it, he just looks the guy dead in the eye and goes, "Yeah, you slept with my wife." Handed him his money and left.
Yeah, I didn't want anyone who maybe didn't catch the first show to hear that and say, "He never slept with his wife. You're a fucking idiot." No.
Like, what did that angle? Where did they shoot that angle at?
No shit. They're waiting. We got some trolls that just wait.
Bobby Eaton, man, also, like, one of probably the nicest, most humble person I've ever met. Like, just
he was one. I don't mean to step on you. He was one that I never got to meet that I really, really wanted to, and it was kind of shock because I was wrestling in Alabama, and at that point, he was still active, but we just never were able to get on a show together. He was one of the ones that I always heard had just the biggest heart of gold.
Man!
Outside of the ring, and I really, really wanted to meet him at least once and be able to pick his brain because it's not easy breaking into the business in Alabama. Like it's just but there's only a handful of really successful wrestlers that have come from Alabama, and two that I can think of just off the top of my head are Bobby Eaton and Sherry, Sensational Sherry. So
I didn't know she was from Alabama.
Yeah, she's from Colin. And I did get a chance to pick Sherry's brain, but I would have picked Sherry's Bobby's brain the same way. Like, how do you? What's the key to try and make it from a smaller market to get to a bigger market? You know, and of course, always it's work. You got to put in the work, and you gotta take those $10-15 paydays just to get the reps in. I never got a chance to do that.
Yep.
I just thought that was they're going after Cornette. Just thought it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah. And I'm from West Virginia, so it's the same thing, man. We've got you can count on your hand the guys that have made it to the big time from West Virginia. Doing exactly what you mean. And plus, Jamie Noble, Heath Slater, he just left West Virginia and never came back to become a star, honestly. And then also, Crippler Ray Stevens is from West Virginia.
Now, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all our big stars, There's some other guys that, done Ring of Honor, the old Impact tapings, and things like that. But those are the three guys that's really, made it big. Oh, we got a nice little commercial here.
Oh.
But yeah, Bobby Eaton, you always hear these stories about him being buying food for the homeless. Like Cornette talks about him buying food and liquor for the homeless guy outside of the gas station, and I've seen him do that. That's not just a story that Cornette makes up. That was Bobby. He'd help anybody out, and you know how a lot of the veterans will rib the new green guy. Bobby was never did that. Was always super nice to him. Just in a dry sense of humor too. It was so funny, crack you up.
Shout out to Mr. Phoenix. Good morning, sir. We're waiting on this match to come back from commercial on the Superstation. Here we are. We are back.
I don't have the chat turned on. You turn it on here.
I see those old school football commercials, man. I go back to, and this is really going to tell my age, the Nintendo system, Tecmo Bowl. Do you remember that game?
I remember Tecmo. So you can download Tecmo Bowl on your phone now.
You son of a bitch. Why didn't you tell me that when I was in the fucking hospital?
I didn't know you liked Tecmo Bowl so much.
You see, Bobby got the Alabama Jam coming back from the break, but was not able to put them away. Yeah, I totally missed sitting down and chatting with you last week, man. It was these Saturday mornings I enjoy almost as much as, I guess you and golf are about the same when it comes to the shows that I really enjoy doing. I enjoy doing the Wrestling Request Live, and I really enjoy doing these old Rivalries and territory shows. John can fuck off. He's on my shit list. Did you hear about the bullshit that he pulled last week while I was laid up?
No, what are you doing?
He has Goth on the show.
Who'd he give you?
They're doing Wrestling Request Live, which, as you know, those matches come from our Discord server. And it's, we've got 40, 50 people in the server that, it's a way to give back to those who follow us and who are here religiously for our content. He pulls Goth in the room and does a Wrestling Request Live. Every match had Paul Roma in it. And not only does every match have Paul Roma in it, he tries to lie about it and say that he has all these different requests and that he could show us, but it would, the people would, wanted to request these matches anonymously, which is just bullshit. All of it. It's just bullshit. So,
and by anonymous, it was him.
Exactly. And he was like, we've got a match with the $1 Million Man, and his opponent, he's taking on Paul Roma, who's just he waits for the opportunity to, when I'm not around, to pull some shenanigans. So I've got a payback for him, but I also have to make it right to our audience on Sunday, who some people just left.
Really, I can't do this.
I'm like, bro, I told him when I got out the house, man, that's how you kill a channel. Legitimately, this is my business at this point. We're making money on this.
You'll kill a territory in the channel.
I'm like, pull that shit again, bro. Pull it one more time. You don't have to worry about coming back on the show. You don't have to worry about it because I've worked too hard to have that kind of shit going down, and it wouldn't have been so bad if people didn't leave the show. I had somebody leave and come
like,
back who usually watches the show. They left and they were like, "Well, I just, after the fact, weren't having it."
I don't want to watch Paul Romo.
Yeah, exactly. How far's too far? That was too far.
Yeah. Look. We got Robert Gibson taking the heat. Well, I don't remember ever seeing Robert Gibson taking the heat.
Here's a fun fact. I did one of the legend shows that I shot this week. It was on the Rock and Roll Express too. Again, future content. There were a handful of matches, and again, I pulled matches that I hadn't seen before, and there were like 2 or 3 of them that Robert took the heat to get the hot tag to Ricky, and it is different. And every now and then, when they pull it out, to me, it's so effective because it's not what you would typically expect. You expect for Ricky to take the heat and get the hot tag to Robert and we go home. So I enjoy seeing the polar opposite every now and then because it almost gives you that allure of, is Ricky really going to take the heat in every match? Or how the saying goes, right?
Makes it... Yeah. Like, and also, if you think about it, something like, back then, when people thought, people were still not as smart, as they think they are now. So people could have been like, oh man, Ricky's pussy, Ricky's always getting beat up. So maybe they had to switch it up every once in a while, make it look like Ricky wasn't, weak.
Very well possible. I enjoy it. Because again, you don't ever know until you know, and you won't know until you get deep into the match like we are right here. And again, this is for the tag titles. And while we've been talking about other things, guys, you got to understand that Derek and I haven't seen each other in 2 weeks, so we have a lot of catching up to do. We've just been able to talk through text. And even then, that's been sporadic.
And, over the last I've been went back to school, so I've been super busy with that too. So
that's right, you sure did. How's that going?
Man, it's going good. It's a lot more work than I was expecting than I remember doing last time. But I really enjoy it. I'm learning a lot. It's a lot of fun. But it's just it's a lot of work too.
So more power to you.
Yeah. Thank you. It's like I said, it's worth it. I enjoy it, but it's a lot of work too.
I imagine it's not going to be easy either. Inside cradle here.
Yeah. Stop kicking. I'm going to cradle you up. And the thing is, maybe also everybody makes a joke about, Robert just stands on the apron and takes the hot tag. But man, Robert can work too. Obviously, everybody Ricky Morton's one of the best baby faces of all time. So when you're standing next to Ricky Morton, you might get a little overshadowed. But Robert was good too, man. Robert was no slouch at all.
He can deliver in the ring. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think at this point we're in '86, so if I'm not mistaken, and again, the wrestling historians out there, this is going to be your opportunity to fucking rag me and send your hate tweets to that Fireside page. I will answer them. I think they came out with the rock and roll in 82, 83, out of Memphis because Ricky was a singles. So even if it was 82 or 83, and it could have been a little earlier. Let's just say 82. This is 86. They've only been teaming for 4 years. And we saw how hot they were in Mid-South. And obviously, when they get to Crockett, as we're going to see, the popularity of the rock and roll, as well as the heel nature of the Midnight Express, only enhanced and got better. It's just, one of those situations. And as we see in this match, we have Dennis Condrey. Condrey's not around for all of this run, obviously, right? Condrey's out. Stan Lane comes in, which that's your favorite version of the rock and roll, the Midnights. And it brings a whole nother dynamic to the feud and allows it to go several more years because you've now got the addition of a Stan Lane. And they are just as good as fucking Bobby and Condrey in my eyes.
They are,
Nice
and it's
backbreaker.
different. Like Dennis is very like ground and pound, going to grind you down, and Stan like he was a little bit faster, like more standing up. I mean, they're both really good. Like it's like 1A and 1B on best tag teams of all time. And really like from match to match, I could flip or flop on who I think is the better version. But
Same.
it's just different styles. It's like they're different teams because they have a different style. And like Robert, I've never seen any of his matches. I need to look him up because Robert's brother, Ricky, talks about how good Robert's brother was. It was Tommy Gibson. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Tommy. I'm pretty sure. 99.9% sure Tommy Gibson. He had a real bad car wreck. And he wasn't able to wrestle. But Robert was tagging with Tommy prior to that. He's in the car wreck, can't wrestle anymore. And that's when they were like, well, and Ricky talks about, his dad always told him, like, unless you're the booker, you don't want to be the top guy. Because if you're the top guy and you're not the booker's going to edge you out. He said, if you want to always have a job, no matter what territory you're in, you want to be the next to top babyface. You want to be in the top tag team. You want to be the top babyface tag team. So you're always going to have a spot on the card. You're always going to be hopping the card, so you're getting paid good. And, I'm pretty sure his dad kind of suggested putting Ricky and Robert together because Ricky was still pretty, he had been wrestling for a few years. And so, it's kind of his dad's idea that, hey, you need to be in a top babyface tag team. That's the spot you want to be in. If you don't have points in the territory, you're not the booker. That's the spot you want to be in. And so his dad kind of pushed him to that, and clearly it worked for him,
I mean, that very well may be why we never got the real hot singles run from Ricky. If he's using that logic, I mean, it's actually smart if you think about it. Everybody wants to be the best.
Ricky.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ricky tells the story too of. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Fine.
Ricky tells the story too, though. Like when he was feuding with Flair, there's actually pictures of Ricky with the belt. Like he beat Flair for the world title at a house show. And when he came back with the title, I can't remember who he said it was. I feel like it was Ole, but I might be getting it wrong. It's out there on his Ricky's shoot interviews. He said they came back and they said, well, I think it was, I don't know. Anyways, whoever the booker was, Dusty or Ole, one of the two. When he came back, just won the belt from Flair. They said, well, hey, you're chanting now, you're top babyface. We'll break the team up. We're going to fire Robert. And Ricky, like to Ricky's credit, I've heard more than one person corroborate this story. Ricky threw the belt back at him and said, well, I don't want it then. He's like, I'm like, being champ's not worth Robert losing his job to me. Like, if Robert means too much to me, he's helped me out too much to do something that's going to make him lose his job, So, I mean, a big props to Ricky,
I mean, not anyone, not just anyone would turn that down. I've heard that story by several times, and I do think that is a very stand-up move to make because at that time the NWA champion was making a shit ton of money, and he to choose your partner over an income, that's loyalty, and you can't. Yeah. You can't look past that, especially in professional wrestling. It's a very cutthroat business.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people would have thrown him under the bus and said, I'll help him pack. Yep. But, it's like Ricky is, Ricky's very, like, he's a showman. Like, he's very, I don't want to say brash. That's not really the right word to describe him. Like, he's very talkative. He's very, very extroverted. But man, he's a super, super good guy too, man. If he'll help people out. He's loyal to people that, it's been good to him. He's a really good guy too, man. Ricky and Bobby, I'm pretty sure it was Bobby. They were having a match. This promotion I was working for, they had a weekly show on Friday nights in the early 2000s.
We got the
and they would do spot shows on. Yeah,
we just got the.
They would do.
The Midnights just picked up the win. Dusty's trying to explain the situation.
Referee's out. Oh, now Dusty's fired up. Big Dust.
Okay, the bell is sounded. Pee Wee Anderson will disqualify.
Oh wait. So now he's changed this
Or Big
decision
Bubba.
and disqualified the Midnight.
This one said, yeah,
He's got Ricky Morton down.
Big Bubba.
Oh.
Big Bubba with the splash. On top of both.
Dusty tries to make the cover, but he just ended up doing more damage because now instead of Big Bubba's weight,
Yeah.
he's got Dusty's weight and Bubba's weight.
Bubba's one. Oh, we hit Big Bubba with that racket.
With the tennis racket. It did not phase Big Bubba at all. That tennis racket did not phase Big Bubba. Fans, the outcome of the match will be a disqualification. The wrong man was in the ring.
Ah, the wrong man was in the ring. They said.
Oh, that's such bullshit.
The Rock and Roll
Yeah. But back to that story. So like, we'd have a show every Friday. We were packing this building out. Like you could only fit about 125 people in there, and they were pretty much, it was full every Friday night. And then we'd have spot shows on Saturday, sometimes Sunday afternoons. But we had Ricky and Bobby and Tracy in there, like almost every week. Sometimes all three of them, sometimes one or two of them, but almost every week they're there. And Ricky's having a match with somebody, and in the middle of the match, Ricky just goes, "Hey, something ain't right," and he just jumps out of the ring, and runs over and checks on this lady. And this lady started having a seizure, but right before it started, Ricky noticed this lady sitting in the crowd, noticed something was wrong with her, and he just jumped out, stopped the match, jumped out. She started having a seizure as soon as he started checking on her. It was just it was a crazy situation, but Ricky's checking on her, making sure she was all right. Stayed there by her side. Didn't know this woman from Adam, but stayed there right there by her side until they got her unloaded in the ambulance. It's crazy.
Hey, that just shows how good a guy he is actually to notice something like that,
Yeah.
and then call an audible. Everybody stop. We need to get this lady some help.
Yeah.
Let's get into our next match. This is from 1986, and we'll continue on with our little conversation here about Ricky and rock and roll in the Midnights. Let's go here in 3, 2, 1, play. And I think this is what I have
Ladies
seen
and
before.
gentlemen, the greatest tag team in professional wrestling today, Loverboy, Mr. Beautiful Bobby.
There's another area, it was running Virginia, Northern Virginia, southern, real southern West Virginia, right on the border of West Virginia and Virginia. And they had Bobby. And they had a little television show. And they said, Bobby, trying to find a manager for you. Bob, he's like, so we can do promos for TV. He's like, I didn't have, the guy was going to have a manager, he fell through. And Bobby said, oh, I'll cut it. They're like, all right, Bobby, we just need a minute or two, just a minute, plug in the match and plug in the town. And Bobby's like, okay. And then Bobby just cuts this awesome promo, man. This, he probably goes 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes, just a hot promo. And then, so when they cut, everybody's like, Bobby, we didn't know you could cut you could talk like that. He said, oh, nobody ever let me talk.
That just sounds like something he said.
I mean, yeah. But I guess you got Cornette. It wasn't a Jim Cornette promo, but it was a very good. It was a very solid promo. But I guess you got Cornette. I guess you're not gonna be on the mic too much.
Let me go ahead and mute that audio right there before we get kicked off of with this one.
Look at the crowd, man, just all over them.
I mean, to me, they rival the Von Erichs in Texas, man. The girls.
Oh, for sure.
Did the show the other day, the Legend show. I was talking about to me the contrast, and I don't mean it in any kind of sexist way or anything like that. But when you see the rock and roll in the ring, especially Ricky, you can hear the girls screaming over the guys in most cases, and you don't get that reaction often. There's a few superstars or legends, and even in modern wrestling today, that the girls are just all about, and Ricky was one of them. And I just think it's so interesting to hear the crowd reactions. To me, it's
and nowadays,
a whole layer to the story.
Nowadays, there's not really I mean, back then it was probably pretty evenly split, a pretty even split between been women at the shows. Now it's predominantly male. It's probably 90% male now. Maybe 80% at the most. But I mean, it's predominantly male now. But back then, you had a very solid mix, and like the women were there to see the baby face. They were there to see. They were there to see the rock and roll. They were there to see Magnum.
Absolutely. Magnum was another one that back
crowd,
in the day,
man.
Yeah, look how packed this place is.
Yeah. They were doing big business back then, man. That was one of their best years.
Yeah.
85, 80, pretty much like 85 to 86. I think they had a little bit of a downturn in 87, 88. 89 was a big year for them, too, though.
86 was my favorite year of Crockett. The NWA.
Oh, man, so much good stuff.
A lot.
89 was really good, too, but 85 and 86 were really the best. I should go still get a minute next year.
Absolutely, Goth. Roma has officially been Sorry, that comment's probably 10 minutes old at this point, but I just saw it.
Till we do a pretty wonderful spotlight.
Now, I don't mind doing that because I'll be focused on Paul. Roma.
What about Power and Glory? Oh, big right hand.
I'll edit that out. I'm going to have to put a bleep in on this one.
Oh, what happened? I missed it.
I mean, I just screwed up and said I'd be focused on Paul, and I forgot that both of them's name was Paul. Instead of saying Orndorff, I said fucking Roma, and I just caught myself.
Orndorff, not Roma.
Yeah, I'll be focused on Orndorff because I'm a big fan of his work.
He was really good, man. I think he was really good. And then you watch some of his vignettes from when he was feuding with Hogan and WWE. Man, they're like stuff you couldn't do nowadays. Like, there's one where he's at a gym and he's training all these different people. And, like, there's some woman, he was like you need to lose some weight. And there's some, like, skinny guys like, you need to take that weight and put it on.
Was great.
Mr. Wonderful.
Oh, Dennis Schofield pile driver. Thank God I got these in order. Got Dennis matches on and then have Stan's matches on after and didn't fuck that up.
So I don't remember when they made the change exactly.
I believe it's here in 86 or early 87.
Okay, I was thinking it was later than that. I was thinking it was more like 88, 89, but...
You know what? The Google machine is at my fingertips. Let me look and see.
Yeah. If only there was something we could do to just look this information up so quickly and easily.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing it right now.
We're talking a lot about Midnight Express here. We're talking about not Power and Glory, but Pretty Wonderful. I was really into WCW tag team wrestling at that time when they were having their run. Mm-hmm. And you know who one of my favorite tag teams was?
Woodward's were a great tag team. Condrey left.
Yeah, but I'd like. That's an 86?
It was an 87 when Condrey left.
87, okay. Probably when they started having a little bit of a downturn.
Oh, yeah, it's when he told
so tired. I'm going
home. And eating. I'll meet you in the next town. Never showed up. Listen to that crowd go crazy for the Brent got caught with the racket. And that's just. Uh-oh. We're getting the heat after the fact here. Oh, Jimmy, you gotta be quicker than that. This
gotta be quicker than that one, buddy.
Exactly. This is 1987.
Okay.
I gotta fix the screen real quick because, of course, this is the only match on the show that has a wider screen. I think. I don't know if this has got Dennis or if we're into the Stan Lane portion of '87, but this was from the Great American Bash tour. Now, for those of you who don't know, Crockett made a run leading up to the Great American Bash with a tour in '87 that I don't know if it drew money or lost money, depends on who you talk to. But a part of the Great American Bash tour, here we are. It's the Midnights and the Rock and Roll. This is total fan cam or house show footage, so I don't know how it's going to come across, but we're about to find out. This is one I haven't seen. So let's get started in 3, 2, 1, play. As this gets started, Eric, I'll be right back.
All right. All right, get in. Stay in the stash. Boom, 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 boom. Listen to that crowd as soon as rock and roll's music hits, man. They go banana when those music hits. Yeah, I would agree with that, Goth. There are a lot of people in there who I would necessarily say did not have a Hall of Fame career. I mean, you know, I would really like them to see them put rock and roll in there before Bobby passed away. I'm sorry, not rock and roll. Midnight. So definitely would like to see them put them in there before he passed. But I mean, you still got Stan, you still got Jim, you still got Dennis. So I'd like to see him do it. You know, I'd really like to see him put it in there.
Introducing the challengers, the U.S. Tag Team Champions. Jim Crockett brings you at a combined weight of 490 pounds. Sweet Stan and beautiful Bobby, the Midnight.
Stan is looking jacked. This is definitely young Stan.
And the champions. From Tennessee, at a combined weight of 455 pounds, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express.
Boom. That's Stan and all that.
You saw the challenge, what they tried to do last time. Yeah. Earl Hebner showing those belts, and we are ready to go. Much more at stake here than just
I always forget that Earl Hebner was a NWA referee.
on television.
Just so used to him. Like, I always think WWE when I think Earl Hebner.
Join in that the Midnight Express would just as soon hurt that man Ricky Morton or hurt Robert Gibson. They like to put him out of wrestling. They tried it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back with more action right after this. Robert Gibson's in there.
Some introductions in there.
Beautiful Bobby. Last time these two teams squared off right here on TV, the Midnight Express stole the World Tag Team belts from them, but as we expected, Ricky and Robert got them back. Now we
I thought Stan wasn't wearing knee pads at first.
Jim Crockett, he's laid up right now, right? Injured. At the hands of the Rock and Roll Express. Ain't that too bad?
Now, is this after Starrcade when Cornette got hurt? Fall off the scaffold? He didn't really miss much time, though.
What do you do now?
So I'm not sure.
Intimidate him.
You ain't gonna intimidate Earl. Earl, just wait till you're in a submission hold. Earl will just tap you out.
Earl Hebner, no. I haven't told him. I think he's putting Robert on the defensive. Yeah, he sure is. Bobby. As you in the headlock.
Okay. I heard you mention Earl. I said you got to watch that of Hebner, man. He's a little tricky.
That's what I said. They said, you know, Midnight trying to intimidate the referee. I said, you don't intimidate Earl. He'll just wait till you're in a submission hold and tap you out. And I'll say, yep, he's done. He quit.
He sure will.
Ring the bell.
With a quickness.
And so I noticed, like, Bobby and Stan really started, like, coordinating their outfits more than Bobby and Dennis just kind of wore whatever. But Bobby and Stan, they started coordinating their outfits a little bit more.
That is a good point. They got it together with the gear, that's for sure. But they also had a nice run together too.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. They had some good matches all into the, in the '90s when Stan left. They were still having good matches. Like their matches with they have a match. I think it's Halloween Havoc. They have a match for the U.S. Tag Titles with the Young Pistols, or it's very, very good, man. A lot of kind of high spotty, especially for the time, very high spotty. But it's a really good match. I think that's Halloween Havoc. Havoc '91, I think.
Robert just ran right over Bobby right there. He's like, "Fuck you, dude. Let me just take you down."
Use that mad hit stick.
So much good stuff.
Cash. Chad Phoenix said, "Casual side headlock. Earl Hebner, ring the bell. It's over."
I told him. All right, here comes Stan.
Listen, we're not still gonna be quicker than that, buddy.
That's right. He said, "No, no, no, nay, nay, not happening. I am smarter than that, good sir."
A little quicker than that, smarter than that.
Let me ask you this.
Say my first.
Let me ask you this, because this just happened last night. The Rock returned, and apparently it's going to be The Rock and Roman, not The Rock and Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed. He just kicked him in the butt and sent him out to the floor. That's great. Listen to the crowd. They're loving that.
Oh, yeah. Man, as soon as Rock and Roll's music hit, the crowd lost it.
Oh, crap. So I didn't mute that before I left. So there's our block on YouTube. Jesus.
I don't think you could hear it. You couldn't really hear the music.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll know.
You just hear the crowd reacting to it. What were you going to say about The Rock coming back?
What do you think? What are you thinking about that? It looks like it's going to be The Rock and Roman, and it looks like it's going to be Cody and Rollins after all.
So I saw a little clip on Instagram about it. I mean, man, like the wrestling, fan Mark side of me wants to see Cody and Roman, but like the business man side of me completely understands why you would do Rock and Roman. That's huge. Like that's huge money, man.
I get it. I saw a meme this morning because I'm up at 4:45, 5 o'clock, and it's got The Rock looking over at Cody, and it says, "You didn't." What does it say? What did it say? This didn't take anything away from Roman, but it took everything away from Cody.
The Rock dressed as Thanos, looking at Cody. I don't even know who you are.
I mean, I'm on the fence about it. I don't know. I just don't know.
Here's the thing: how many people are going to watch that wouldn't have watched otherwise?
I mean, it's going to draw.
A lot.
There's no doubt it's going to draw.
That's what it's. That's what it's about. And to me, it's kind of hot shotting, because where do you go from there?
Right. Roman's supposed to be dropping the belt. Is he going to drop it to The Rock?
Yeah, I mean.
Is The Rock
if he does, or if he beats him?
I mean, it's just, I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I saw that and I went, man. And what sucks for me is the show last night was in Birmingham. It's my hometown.
Was it?
Yeah.
I know they just had the Rumble at Tampa.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for that. So
yeah,
I did.
You're still in the hospital then? I thought you were.
No, the Rumble was last Saturday, bro. I was in surgery last Friday, and
oh yeah. You think back till Monday, right?
Yeah, I was.
My days are all screwed up, man.
I was pretty loopy Saturday, and
yeah,
I didn't get a chance to really do much of anything until I got out. And I did watch the Rumble when I got home, and
I'll say this: I thought the women's Rumble was very well done.
Let me go ahead and just give you the hot take that I gave on Ring Bell Radio last week. I wasn't satisfied with either one of the Rumbles. I thought that
Really?
overall, I thought that the women's Rumble was very clunky. What I liked about it, liked a lot about it.
I mean, there's plenty of botched spots, but
exactly. But in the same token and in the same breath, I understand that outside of Jordan Grace and Naomi coming back, there wasn't a whole lot of surprises, and they went with their own talent. I can commend and respect and appreciate that. Because you got to get them in there. They got to get reps in front of live audiences that large, especially if they're going to stay with the WWE. That being said, it doesn't take away from the overall clunkiness of the Rumble for the women's.
I thought the way that they debuted Cargill,
expected,
and the way they made her look. I have not seen a single one of her AEW matches. The way that they debuted her, man, they made her look like a star. Like, they're making her look like a big star.
Well, they've got
the Liv Morgan return. My daughter popped really big for that when Liv Morgan came back. So
yeah, I thought that was a shock, to be perfectly honest, considering she just got caught holding a couple of weeks ago down here in Florida. But
yeah,
she just left my house. It was my fault.
Like, I'm going in for surgery. Go ahead and take this for me.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a discount. Just kidding. I don't sell. I do consume.
Is it legal there?
Yes, it is. Oh, it's not. It's legal with a medicinal card, which I am a card carrying member.
Yeah, that's like here, but you can get it for about anything.
Mm-hmm. That was the fantastic thing about the Big C, man. I got the card, no problem.
You're like, all right.
That's right. And there's a shop like 2 blocks away from my house. I'm good. Let's go.
Oh man, there's one on like every other corner in town here. Like, they're opening a new one every month.
It looks like, going into the chat, it looks like CJ popped for Liv Morgan's return at the Rumble too.
Yeah. I'm not my daughter loves her. My daughter's favorite. I'm not a fan, but I was happy she was happy.
The sacrifices you make as a parent, I will never know.
Yeah. Oh, look at that big suicide dive.
Yeah. What does it say, man? Look at that suicide. Listen to that crowd, man. I just cannot.
Wait till they start throwing super kicks too.
Oh, that's coming.
So, have you heard the story about Ricky? How he started doing the Canadian Destroyer?
No.
So, like, I remember that was like a huge thing. Like, Ricky Morton started doing the Canadian Destroyer. You'll still see him do it today, like every once in a while. They were on. It was like a WrestleMania week. They were on a Game Changer wrestling show, and they were wrestling LAX, like Santana and Ortiz. And the show, he said it was like real late. Like, the show started real late, and it was like the third show they had done that day or something. And he's, in the middle of the match with the guy, and the guy just called Sunset Flip. And so Ricky just goes to do, whoa, look at this. Ricky just goes to do it. Yeah. So Ricky goes to do Sunset Flip, and then he said he does the Sunset Flip, and then Ortiz just, I don't remember if it was Ortiz or Santana, whichever one of them flips through the move, and Ricky's like, what just happened? What was that? Are you okay? What just happened? And he's sitting at the back. He's like, no, man. He's like, I just took a Canadian Destroyer. So he's like, okay, well, I can do a Canadian Destroyer now.
I remember when they made an appearance on AEW television. Ricky did a slingshot Canadian Destroyer over the top rope of somebody. I think it may have been one of the members of FDR. Yeah. This was a while back. But it was still, to see Ricky Morton pull up a Canadian Destroyer is fucking great. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah.
It's just like seeing him do his Hurricane Rana now. I don't know why it's so great now.
Yeah.
But it's just probably just because of the age, I would imagine. But,
oh, yeah. I mean, he's Oh, Bobby. I'm going to fill up my coffee real quick. I'll be right back.
Just a 2 count.
Bobby takes him again. Snap there. Backs in.
I don't think I've ever seen a bad Midnight Rock and Roll match. Truthfully, I think these guys have working each other down to a fucking science. They're so good. Oh, counter. No, just a 2. David Crockett needs to calm down and let Tommy Young handle his business here. Oh, super kick from Stan. No, just a 2 count.
Remind your fans it's action like this, part of the Great American Bash this month.
Swinging neck breaker.
The whole month of July is a celebration of the Great American Bash. Stan Lane, pleased with what he's doing.
I think that was supposed to be a super kick, but he missed his head. I think he connected with a piece of the side of the head. But there's beautiful Bobby to make it all right. Get the heat. Get the heat.
Is Robert taking the heat again? Are we going to see 2 Robert Gibson heats?
Well, maybe. I think so. I think we're on the cusp of it. Oh man, I don't know. Don't think I showed you this. Our buddy over in Australia, Redshaw, sent me a nice little care package after our interview.
Oh, nice.
See that?
Yeah.
He asked me what size shirt I wore to him. It was a 2X. I didn't think about the size differential from Australian 2Xs to American 2Xs, and I tried to put it on, and let's just say it doesn't fit.
Yeah, American sizes are much bigger than a lot of other places. It's like I remember the first time I ordered something from China. Oh my gosh, what is it?
He's trying to pull himself up with the apron. He also sent me his. I got a little air freshener from him too. I'm debating on whether or not I'm gonna sling it over here and put it on.
Now that's a cool gimmick, man. That's a cool gimmick to get, like an air freshener.
You know,
I never would have thought about that.
you're absolutely right.
Be good, you could throw it to the crowd, but you people stink.
It deserves to be on display, so we'll put it on display.
And I didn't realize like how big the Australian indie scene was, you know?
Oh, bro, you have no idea. We're just getting started on that one. That's such a huge market.
Like, I remember back in the day, I say back in the day, probably like 2010 or so, they're like, I was talking to a guy that lived in Australia. He wasn't a wrestler, he just lived in Australia. He's like, there's like 2 promotions here. So I guess it's really taken off. I mean, it might have been before 2010, but I guess it's like really taken off since then.
There's several down there, and I am a fan of 3, 4 feds right now that are down there.
Yeah, what's their style more like?
It's American style. It's it's kind of similar to this. You got some guys that do old school throwbacks, and it's hard to describe. You've got your take on everything. You got a little bit of the hardcore stuff. You got a little bit of the chains. There's some phenomenal, big men matches that go on down there. It's different.
Some what matches?
Some big men matches. The meat men's what I call it.
Oh, okay.
Big meat matches.
Some big meaty men slapping meat.
There you go.
As Big E would say. Some hoss fights. I like a good hoss fight.
Man, they're good. That's just it. Like I truly think the best wrestling is on the independent scene and stuff that we don't see because we're not looking for it. And whether it be here in the States, whether it be overseas, it's a booming business.
I know Australia's always been like a pretty solid market. I mean, Barnett went and started his territory there and supposedly was hot, making a ton of money in the 80s? Was it the 80s or maybe the 70s into the 80s? And then after he left, you didn't really hear too much about it. You had the WWA, the World Wrestling All Stars, or whatever.
Double drop kick.
What was his name, man? Double drop kick. The big radio guy down there started that. They had some big shows, big tours, and Hogan had his big tour down there. But I guess they're, popping off now. There's a huge fan base down there. It kind of reminds me of like when the UK scene started popping off in like the early to mid 2000s.
Don't mean to cut you off. Bubba Slam. He's putting Bobby on top.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be no Dusty here to save you this time, boys.
They didn't need Cornette. They got Big Bubba. Man, Big Bubba. Hey, big boy.
Such a heater for.
Get in there, Earl. Oh, new tag team champions.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go in there and check out some of that Australian stuff, man. If you want to send me some matches to check out, I'll check them out. I know you like that Riot City a lot.
Yeah, actually, like I said earlier, again, confirmed this morning is Angus. God, I've got so many names in my head right now. I can't pull his last. Dacey, excuse me. Angus Dacey's their lead announcer. They confirmed this morning.
You said Angus, not just to be, but Angus McKenzie from ACDC.
Yep. Oh, they reversed the decision.
He's reversing the decision.
We got a referee out here to save the rock and roll yet again. That just seems to be a trend. They get saved.
That's something you don't really see too often anymore,
Yeah, well, it's 80s, bro. Hold on. Let me just make sure with these last two that I don't have to do anything. I don't. Perfect.
I got the Headbangers against Rock and Roll that popped up after that.
Yeah, there was one on the side of the screen a few minutes ago that popped up. It was the Rock and Roll versus I think it was actually, hold on. Let me go back over to the other screen because they misspelled Stan's last name and I kind of had to laugh. The Rock and Roll versus was Tracy Smothers and Stan Lee. Stan Lee, as in comic book creator for Marvel, Stan Lee.
There was a guy. Where's it from? Is it an indie show?
It was.
So there's a guy in Virginia. I think he's based out. He used to do a bunch of shows with him. His name is Stan Lee. He's a big guy, but he had robes he had Ric Flair level robes. On the Indies, he's a pretty big guy. He kind of looked like an Adrian Adonis look. He had his hair bleached blonde. He was good, man. So it could very well be Stan Lee.
Well, we have a choice to make, Mr. Steele, as I look at the time. This match is about 15 minutes, and then the next match, I overshot this by probably 30 minutes. The next match is 24 minutes. Which one do you want to do? I don't think we'll have time to run them both.
Let's do the 24-minute one. That's the big thing.
Yeah, this is. I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but this is a pretty big deal. So we'll go to the last little match that's on the run. This will be our last one for this one, guys. I'm sorry I overshot it, but I wanted to make sure we got a lot of midnight rock and roll in for you this morning. Let's go ahead and make this happen in 3, 2, 1, play. And this is for the tag team championship too.
Hey, with all the issues I had last time, it's good to make for
Yeah, we didn't have near as many this go around. But you were, not also battling a snowstorm, so it's probably got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, we went up getting so much snow that weekend. It snowed Friday all day Saturday, and it snowed on Sunday. We probably got 6 to 8 inches of snow.
No, thank you.
So we got Dennis here.
Oh, I screwed up. Should have had this one earlier in the show. But it's still Crockett, so I'm okay.
Good. still midnight and rock and roll, and it's still going to be good.
Facts. We need to start thinking about what rivalry we're going to move to next. What do we want to do next week? I know eventually we're going to do an Ask Us Anything. I just got to get all that set up.
Yeah.
I should have worked on that a little bit.
What do the people want to see? Do they want to see a territory? Do they want to see like a legendary rivalry? They want to see something. What do they want to see?
Guys in the chat, I know there's maybe a couple, maybe 1, 2. You want to see rivalries, or you want to see a territory next week? And if you want to see a rivalry, like give me an old school rivalry that you want to take a peek at. We'll give you the duration of the match to make suggestions, and as you make those suggestions, we'll pick which one we like the best.
Maybe Midnight and Road Warriors. That'd be a good one.
Could also do. I don't know if we've done anything from the AWA yet.
Yeah, you got Flair and Ricky. Flair and Ricky want to be a good one. AWA, I'm trying to think what.
I gotta find.
You got.
I gotta be able to find an hour and a half worth of content. That's the caveat.
Aquawinkle and Aquawinkle and Henning.
Yeah,
be a good one. I watched the match last night. Jerry Sags. I just seen watched the interview with Jerry Sags a couple weeks or a month ago or so, where Jerry Sags talked about how he lost his front teeth, and he's missing his front teeth. Jerry Sags from the Nasty Boys actually lost them in a match in AWA with the Rock and Roll Express. Talk about he was so he was still green in the business. He was just so excited to be working with the Rock and Roll. Make the hot tag. He has Ricky in the corner. He runs into the big splash. Ricky moves, but he's so excited. He runs so hard, jumps so hard when Ricky moves. He overshoots the top rope and hits his face on the turnbuckle, or the ring post, the actual post. I'm pointing at the post you guys can see it.
I've seen.
And then I'm watching that. I was I just want to see this part. And man, he hits it. You can see his face just smack it. And the camera pans up on him, his whole face is just busted and bleeding everywhere. It's oh my! And the referee just bends over and picks his tooth up off the mat.
Unbelievable. That is a good one. Another thing too, go over to Portland, look at some Buddy Rose.
Love me some Buddy Rose, man. Some Piper.
Something else that I'm thinking about is incorporating the Legends of Wrestling show into our time slot. So maybe we just bump around.
Yeah.
Pick a legend and we can tour the territories with them a little bit. That's another idea. It's another concept. I won't be doing those shows anyway. I'd rather do them with somebody than without any day of the week. So there's a lot of options out there. So we got Phoenix isn't helping us out. He said he's down for whatever.
Sheesh.
So, there's
you gotta hug them all. Man, that's always such a big heat. You just hugging your manager like that.
Especially in this time frame. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Then you get another one. Brothers don't shake hands.
The crowd is so bad.
Brothers
hug. I watched one of them put, they should have done the spot where Jimmy and Big Bubba both took their jackets off, and then when they went to put it back on, Big Bubba got Jimmy's jacket. Fat guy.
Fat guy.
A missed opportunity right there.
Go. Oh, man. Here's a rivalry that we could probably look at. Man, what about fucking Lawler?
That would be awesome. We did fucking Lawler once. We could revisit it. That would be nice.
Did we do a full show on fucking Lawler? We might have. I have to go back to my archives.
It was one of our early ones if we did. I remember we did the empty arena match. I don't remember if we did Funk. I'm pretty sure we did Funk and Lawler. But it would have been one of our first ones.
Definitely. I have to go back and check the archives and see.
Nice arm drag.
Snapped him over.
Yeah. That's something you don't see very often more. I was always a big fan of that, the arm drag out of the collar and elbow tie up.
I think it could lead to so many other spots depending on how you format your match, right? Like it could easily go into a high spot, or like they're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
It's a slower paced, got you on that one, Bobby. Situations.
Yep. Lock up right into the top wrist lock. The ribs. Working. Crowd too, man. Like they are here for this.
It's insane to see where wrestling was in the 80s to where it is now. It's night and day. It's, some good, some bad.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah. I can see the Russians in rock and roll too would be good.
Yeah. All right, I'm sold. I'll put a poll out on Twitter and give people the weekend to vote on it.
Here we go. Throw the link in the Discord. Let them vote up there. The little poll.
Yep, we'll make it happen.
You know what else would be good? Get some Jimmy Valiant and Lawler in there.
A little boogie woogie man.
Some boogie woogie man. Yeah. And you know who I'd like to do a legend spotlight on? Dutch Mantel.
Dirty Dutch. Oh, we could totally do that. We can make that happen.
I love me some Dutch Mantel, man. Like,
I pulled 2 shows this morning for the legend, next set of legends. Oh, they ran into each other.
Have you ever seen that match that him and Jeff Jarrett have to the Symphony?
No, but we need to.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
We're gonna make that happen. I need to find it. I hope there's footage of it out there.
Oh, Ricky's like, I don't want to cheat. Whatever. I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Punch him square in the
You got it
nose.
coming.
Oh, Condrey, front face lock, but Robert kicks back and knocks Bobby away. I like the addition.
Well, Ricky Morton was the first, like. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I just like I was going to go to Big Bubba Rodgers for a second because we haven't talked a whole lot about him. I like the addition of him to the act when they moved over here to Crockett as the heater, man. Like he really did his job.
Yeah.
And knew the assignment and ran it well.
Oh, look at this. That was a nice spot right there. So Robert flips him with the arm wringer and then turns around, tags Ricky, but while he turns around, he's standing on the hand of Dennis, so Dennis can't get up. Tags Ricky and stands on it until Ricky comes in, drops an elbow or splashes the arm. That's nice, man. That's little things like that I think you don't see very much nowadays.
Oh, Ricky caught Bobby again on the apron slipping. Atomic drop after atomic drop after atomic drop.
Oh my gosh, just the way he was selling that, man, that got me. That cracked me up.
And then the flat back at the very end, that was great.
Yeah.
Full
Oh my! And like the inverted atomic drop, man, nobody sold that better than Rick Rude. The inverted atomic drop.
You just took the words out of my fucking mouth. There's not a single person. I used to sell the atomic drops just like Reed when I was in the ring. That was exactly.
I remember watching it one time. Rude selling it, and Vincent Victoria goes, "Well, you know that hurts him more than the average man."
Oh, coconuts in honor of John Cable.
And this crowd is on fire.
This crowd is on fire.
So, I was gonna say, Ricky Morton is like the first legend or name or whatever you want to call him that I ever worked with. And I'm trying to remember, got the heat on Rick, and I got him down the mat. I can't remember if I have him in a top wrist lock or a headlock or what. But I got him down the mat in a hold, and I just feel like bam, 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 like these little hands hit me in the back. And I hear, "Oh, where's my daddy?" It was Kerry Morton, and he's like in diapers. He's still so little, man. Here, get out of here!
That's hilarious. And to know,
And like I want to work a match with Kerry so bad, man. Like I'd hang him up after that. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm full circle.
There's a good story to tell there. You should reach out.
Yeah, but like I've been wanting revenge on you for 2 years, Kerry Morton.
You should reach out to him. You should get with your promoters and reach out to them. Be like, hey, come in and do this shot. This will be great. I worked with your dad. And there was a match.
Oh man, I've tried. Like, it's
You need me to work on it for you, bud? Do I need to make that happen? I'm going to turn into a fucking manager of indie wrestlers. You guys just excuse that for a second. I've taken Eric's video down. We've got a little lariat in the room.
All right, I'm back.
All right, well, and oh shit! No, that was the wrong button. There he is. He's back. Boom! Bobby off the top with a shot to Ricky. You're absolutely correct, CJ. The crowds back then, they're just built differently. Wrestling was different. This kayfabe's still alive here.
Oh yeah,
that's a big piece of it too, I think.
And you know, there wasn't like, there's just so many entertainment options nowadays. Like, people will be like, "Hey, watch this show." I'm like, "Nah." Okay. They're like, "What about this show?" I'm like, "Man, there's too many shows out there to watch. Like, I don't have time. I don't watch that much TV."
No, and truthfully, like, some of the people that, I say we've got haters, some of our haters that come at me, it's like, you don't watch anything new. No, I don't. I'm not attracted to a lot of the new stuff. But if I see something, or something gets my attention with the major promotions, then I'll go and watch it. But I'm not going to give it, 15 hours of my time a week to watch all the wrestling that's modern when...
There's so much.
When the best stuff is happening on the independent circuit, I would much rather spend 15 hours a week watching indies and watching modern indies mixed with the old school stuff, because I'm going to be more attracted to it. I'm going to like it more. Oh, shit.
Oh,
did you see that face bump?
Oh, my gosh.
Jesus.
Yeah. I said, oh, gosh.
You talked about Sags losing some teeth.
Man.
Wow.
He just lost some brain cells.
I wonder if he's rethinking that right now.
Oh, man.
That was such a good idea.
Oh, nice big elbow.
No, he's still...
Yeah, like, I still watch WWE, but sometimes, man, I just don't have time. Like, I don't watch... I watch maybe an hour of television a day, so...
You're working full time. Now you're going to school. You got kids. You're wrestling. You got other priorities. Inside Cradle here.
Yeah.
Too. Got him.
Oh, got him. That dreaded Inside Cradle.
Absolutely. CJ, Ricky just almost lost his jaw. That was 100% correct. That was that.
Oh, man.
Rough bump. We've got new tag champions here. This crowd is here for it. Oh,
that's hot. Look, it sounds like the end of a concert.
We're waiting on the official word. There it is.
Somebody just throw flowers in there?
I'm not sure if it was flowers or if it was a water bottle. Oh, it looked like it
Trash. Yeah. Some hill mark.
Oh, this must be 2 out of 3 falls, bro.
Is this 2 out of 3? Oh yeah, they're still going. Oh, this is Philly too, so the Philly are heel marks.
Okay, that explains that. I was about to say, bro, we may have time to run this other match, but
They can beat him two straight falls.
you know what I've noticed? Because I have watched a lot of the old school back in Houston and several other places. A lot of their main events were 2 out of 3 falls. I have noticed that with these
Oh yeah,
older,
especially title matches.
yeah, these older 2 out of 3 falls matches, I've noticed that the first falls are pretty lengthy. The second falls end within a minute or two, and then the third fall usually goes about 4 or 5, and that's it.
Yeah.
So your first fall is your longest fall.
So if you remember when,
Low
nice spot there. Uh, if like when WCW Saturday Night was first started as like the big TV show for WCW, their main events were always 2 out of 3 falls.
Mm-hmm. Backbreaker 1, I like how he just picked him up and did it a second time. That's not something you saw a lot of. He cradles him up tight, and he got the pin. What did I tell you?
Another potential rivalry. Just talking about Saturday Night, maybe think about it that we could do if you want to do AWA. Larry Zbyszko and Stan Hansen,
Yeah,
or Rick Martel and somebody.
What something that was in my head is again, I watched a lot of wrestling this past week. I did a funk show, and there was a rivalry that I was thinking about was the Funks against Stan Hansen and any partner of choice because there's so many. But Stan and Bruiser.
Oh, I could watch Stan Hansen for hours.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish we would have got a Hansen and Hogan run, man.
What could have been?
They do like an All Japan WWF Super Show. It might be on YouTube somewhere. And the main event is Hansen and Hogan, bro. It's so good. There's another Super Show they do. I'm pretty sure it's with New Japan. It might have been All Japan. And the main event is what was their name? The Power Warriors. It was Hawk and Enzo Suzuki. Is that his name? Against Hogan and Muta. Awesome match, man. Like Hogan and Hawk got their working boots on in that match.
Well, Hogan was a different beast in Japan. Like he what people don't understand about Hogan, gets a lot of shit, but he was entertaining over here. He was in the entertainment aspect of it. When he was in Japan, like he broke out his wrestling shoes, man. Like he would go over there and really work.
Yeah.
And put on some really good matches.
Well, they're housed.
It's
Kensuke Sasaki. That's who it was with Hawk.
Condrey cheerleading.
But yeah, it's different styles, man. Like Hogan doing step up enziguris and stuff like that. Anytime one of these Hogan haters, like, oh, Hulk Hogan only had to do 5 moves. Like, well, if you only had to do 5 moves to sell out the Silver Dome, you would too. But like, just go watch him in Japan and watch how good he is and just stop it, okay?
Yeah, then come talk to me. We'll have this conversation.
Yeah, and anytime they're like, oh, Hogan couldn't do anything, I'm like, look, the biggest draws of all time did about 5 moves each. Like, it's not about the moves. It's like, that's the least important part of wrestling.
Are you in the building?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Then just hush.
Look, Hogan, Rock, Austin, Cena, like,
oh, here we go.
They did about, 5-6 moves.
Running power slam. Looks like we're gonna see the
rocket launcher
on the money across 3/4 of
he was
the
like
ring.
3/4 of the way across the ring. Yeah. I think Dennis could maybe throw Bobby a little bit farther than Stan. That's what it was.
Foot on the rope plus a break from Ricky.
Yeah. Making sure they're not losing that one.
Bear hug locked in. Need to find a Midnights and a Rock and Roll cage match, and I think we would cover all bases. Like they had
Oh man, there's some good ones out there.
we had a no DQ.
We watched the scaffold match too.
Yep, we watched the scaffold. We watched the no DQ. This is 2 out of 3. I mean, all their matches, whether they're given 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 10 minutes, all of these matches, all their matches are good. There's not a bad match in the fucking bunch, and it's just because the chemistry is there. They click on all levels. Oh, big elbow by Bobby.
Yeah. Bobby was like the high flyer of the time, man.
And it is definitely Robert getting the heat right now. So these girls are going to explode when this hot tag comes. Right hand. Ooh, big knee. Got him. Dennis, you ate that.
I look at it. He's sounding like Ricky. Looking like Ricky right there.
Yeah, how'd it taste? Is it a little salty? Oh, here it comes.
Listen to him.
Here he comes.
Oh, listen to that. Pop on that suplex, man.
Just a suplex. I just want to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
Just a suplex.
Oh, top rope
drop
drop kick.
Oh, the referee stopped the count. Oh, no. Covered.
Yeah, that's not the legal man. I like how Robert slid in and stopped the referee's arm.
Pointed over to Condrey, yeah, so he's the legal man.
Oh,
shit.
I always like that bump right there, too. The knee to the back, they go flying through the ropes.
Yeah. Oh, that's
He's losing control here.
Oh, no. Counter.
Oh, that was nice.
Got him.
I like that.
Got him. New tag team champions.
Listen to this crowd. Even the Philly crowd's going crazy for the rock and roll.
Dennis just got hit with something. He's like, what the fuck? Oh, Cornette is beside himself. What a match.
That was a really good match. All their matches are really good, but that one was extra good.
What a series, really, man.
That was like the supersized good one. Oh man, like Midnight. I just like my 2 favorite tag teams of all time, man. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was awesome.
He's such a baby. It's okay, Jimmy.
Love
You'll
it.
get him back. Now go have you a triple cheeseburger, double pickles, double onions, double ketchup, extra mustard, extra mayonnaise.
Double mayonnaise.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm telling you, bro. Like I dig old wrestling and these old fucking rivalries. It's good stuff. I enjoy the time I get to spend with you looking at it, and watching some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, give me some thoughts on the Midnight Rock and Roll.
I mean, man, like it's my 2 favorite tag teams. I will say the 2 best tag teams of all time. Just tearing it down, man. Just tearing it up, having great matches, telling great stories.
There's no argument for me that these 2 are definitely 2 of the top tag teams of all time, at least in my lifetime, and definitely deserve all the flowers that they've gotten. Rock and Roll is already in the WWE Hall of Fame. Obviously, we all feel like the Midnights should be there and good, bad, indifferent, or of opinions. There's no doubt about the work ethic and that they deserve to be there for what they've done for the business. And both of these teams have feuds with just about every other major team that's out there at the time.
Yeah,
it's
all the top heels, all the top baby faces.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. We'll get a poll out for next Saturday's show, and we'll figure out what we're going to do there. It was good to circle back around and finish this up with the Rock and Roll of the Midnights. I was also glad to have CJ and Goth in the room for this because it is early when we stream this show on Saturdays. Eric, what do you want to say to the people before we close this up?
Hey, thanks for joining us. Man, I'm just glad you're doing good. Answer prayers. I'm glad you're doing good, man. I'm glad you're recovering well, too.
Yeah, well, they had an appointment yesterday. They checked the incision, all that good stuff. It's healing the way it's supposed to heal. So hopefully it's just a little bit more pain for a lot more pleasure, if you will, to not have to worry about things. It's been a rough 2 years, but we've conquered. Just like we're going to conquer this platform here on Twitch and over on YouTube, and it's just what we do. We don't fight, we don't give up. We always fight. We've got coming up here, what is it, as of this show, 2 weeks from Friday. We'll be airing our interview with Riot City Wrestling's Katie Trey over on the YouTube platform. And it looks like we're going to have interviews every 2 weeks for the next 2 or 3 months with independent talent all over the world. It's been fun. This is going to be a wild 2024, and we're going to set ourselves up for some major success in 2025. Mark my words. He is Eric the Lariat Steele. I'm Chris Page. We will see you next time. Have a great and lovely day.